Good morning and welcome to Ivy Madness. Right now, we're excited to be joined by the top-seeded Yale Bulldogs. Joining us on the stage is head coach James Jones, along with Ivy League Player of the Year and three-time Defensive Player of the Year Bez Embang, as well as first-team selection John Poulikitis. We'll start with some opening comments from Coach, then move into questions from the media. If you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll bring you over a microphone. Please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. Coach, we'll turn it over to you for some opening comments.
Well, thanks, JJ. Good morning, everybody. Just like everybody else, we're excited to be here. We had a really good week of practice. I feel great about our team, where we are. We're prepared, and we're looking forward to the opportunity of going out and play these two games. It's a tremendous environment playing in this tournament. It's been great for us over the few years that we've had it. And again, we're looking forward to the outcome.
All right, we'll open to questions.
Rob Brown, Ivy Hoops Online. Coach, Steve and Jim will not be coming back next year at Penn and Columbia. As the dean of the Ivy coaches, could you spend a few moments just kind of talking about your relationship with them over the years?
Sure. Well, Jim is kind of like family. He worked with my brother at Columbia, and it was funny. I kind of, helped him with his staff. Toby Carberry was a member of our staff, and it was a better situation. He was a volunteer assistant for us, and he got on with Jimmy. And Jimmy's a great guy, really, really good offensive mind. Did a great job, and unfortunately, had some key injuries this year that really hurt him. But had a great relationship with him, especially when he was at NJIT as well. He had some time at Wagner, so I know him quite well, and he'll be a friend for life. Steve, he's done a tremendous job at coaching over his career. Taking Cornell to the Sweet 16 and doing an amazing job there, and building a program building that program up to where it is today, and giving them an opportunity to be successful, because they feed on recruits are going to feed on the success of the past. And then this his stint at Penn. He was in another situation where he was just unlucky and unfortunate that injuries and guys leaving the program that really hurt their prospects of being as good as they possibly can be. But my brother also worked with Steve as well, so he's kind of like part of the family. Like, this basketball environment, there aren't too many people you don't know.
Focusing back on your team, could you talk about Bez and John and Nick and how you've seen their growth over the years?
Wow. That's a big question right there with all three guys. Let's take them one by one. We'll start with John Poulikitis. I remember when he was a freshman, he was a little frustrated because he didn't play as much as he'd like to play, as most freshmen don't. And I remember telling him that one day he was going to lead our team in scoring. Fast forward 4 years, he's led the league in scoring. Nobody puts more time in than especially these two guys sitting up here. And, there are times when, I'll go to my locker in the morning to put something away. I don't have hair anymore, so it's body wash more likely. And I remember going in there at 8 o'clock in the morning one day before going to work, and John's in the gym getting shots up by himself on a gun. So a lot of time and effort. He wants to be special. He wants to be great. He's cast a huge shadow on our program. It's left us with a great legacy thus far, and there's still work to do with that. But John has been tremendous, and seen him grow up from a little skinny kid from Illinois to what he is today, and it's really quite special. Nick Townsend, if we were to cut him open right now and you found a metal skeleton, I wouldn't be surprised. He's kind of like the Terminator. Every time he makes a mistake on the floor, I'm surprised because he's just so steady and so tough, and does all the little things that you don't notice in a basketball game, all those little things that matter for you to be really successful. He has it. Great quality, a tremendous teammate, and almost to a fault, he never even says anything to the referees when he's been brutalized by the opponent. I've seen him get knocked down, fouled numerous. He's gotten fouled more often than anybody in the country that has not been called. And he's never even raised an eyebrow to it. He just next play. Tremendous person, and his growth. I've known him since he was 8 years old. His brother Matt played for us, and he was running around the court when he was 8 years old. So I've seen him grow up virtually in front of my eyes. So it's been great to have him as part of the program. And Bez, he's probably had the largest amount of growth as far as I'm concerned of the three, in a sense that He's really worked hard on his offensive game over his 4 years at Yale. There were times where guys are going to play off him or go on the ball screens, and not anymore. He too has put more time and effort into getting up shots and becoming better than most anybody ever coached. Like I said, he and John are just in the gym all the time. And Bez has a fierceness to him that's really quite amazing. And he didn't really have that as a freshman. At least I didn't notice it to this point. There were times in our game last weekend, he turned his ankle, and I was going to I took him out, and we were going to switch him off Lily, and he gave me a look like, "No, you're not doing that, Mister." And but just his fierceness and the competitiveness that he has and the energy that he has to help us win is just it's brilliant. And again, I'm fortunate to coach those three guys. Right, they're the three first-team All-League players, and all three of them should have been unanimous guys. And as a coach, I was asked to put down the Player of the Year, and I couldn't choose between them, and so I had the other guys choose because on any given day, one of these guys is our best player. So it's just amazing to be around them, and I'm looking forward to continuing to ride.
Steve Silverman, Ivy Hoops Online. This question is for coach and players. Last several years, I don't know, last 4 or 5 years, it's either been Yale or Princeton during the regular season for the regular season title. This year, you guys are facing them in the semifinals, which I don't think people expected when the season began. And so I'm just curious, does it feel a little anticlimactic to face them in the semifinal? What's the vibe for you guys going into this game tomorrow?
Quite honestly, I hadn't thought about any of that, right? We're just trying to win a championship. It doesn't matter who's in front of us or the history of our league or any of that. We went through the league and we finished 13-1, and we feel really good about where we are. And we have to get 2 more wins. So that's what we're focused and concentrating on. And whoever's in our way is in our way. And that's just the attitude we want to have. And we want to go out and play our best. We respect everyone. Princeton is a tremendous program. Dartmouth has done a great job this year. And Cornell as well. They're all really good teams, and we're going to have to play well to be successful. But our job is to try to beat anybody in front of us. And for us, it doesn't matter. But I'm sure that, like you said, there were some people that wouldn't have expected this, but that doesn't matter. That's what the glory of sports are all about. They give us something we don't expect, and it gives us something special that we might not be ready to witness.
And Bez, were you surprised at all to sweep both of the big awards, for Player of the Year and Defensive Player? And what has it meant to you to get that kind of? I can't remember any time that's happened. I'm sure it has, but I don't remember it. So it's a pretty remarkable thing.
Yeah, it's an incredible honor, but I mean, I can't, get those awards without my teammates and my coaches. Like those, especially getting both awards, it's like it resembles how effective our coaches have been and our team, So it's both of those awards to me are team awards. Like you can't get those by yourself. So it's the same. I said the same thing earlier when I got the steal record. Like it's not just me. It's my teammates and my coaches putting me in the position to be able to do that. So like, yeah, it's all the credit to all glory to God first, but my coaches and teammates, like all credit to them as well. So.
For John and Bez, no number 1 seed has won the tournament since 2017. Can you find a silver lining from the Harvard loss a couple weeks ago that will actually propel you to 2 straight wins here?
Like Coach Jones mentioned, we're not too worried. We're not worried about history. We're not worried about the past. We respect every opponent, and it just so happened that we're lined up against Princeton tomorrow, and we're gonna do our best and give our best effort. But our mindset, we're not really focused on the past. We had a great week of practice this week. Everyone was competing hard. That's really all you can ask for. I thought we bounced back from that Harvard loss in a good performance against Brown, and now we're just getting ready for this weekend.
And I guess for Coach, when you're playing a team that's talented, but maybe underachieved this year, you're facing them, trying to beat them the 3rd time. What's a big key to kind of neutralize them quickly?
Let me just take a step back to something you guys were talking about before, like looking at these 3 guys and how this works. Bez makes John's job easier because he guards the best guy on the other team. John makes Bez's job easier because the best guy on the other team guards him. So there's more space for him. Nick Townsend gets open jump shots because John's coming off a screen. He's going to pick and pop. So it all works together. So, and again, that's why for me it was so hard with the three guys we have, because they all work together to make us better. And because he's as good as he is, and he's as good as he is, and he's as good as he is, as well as the other players, it just adds to it, and it's why we're good. So going to your question, and I've forgotten it, so you're going to have to ask again.
That makes two of us. Playing a team like Princeton that is the number 4 seed, but they're dangerous, and they've got nothing to lose. How do you focus in on, what's the keys for tomorrow's game?
Well, again, like we were born at night, but not last night, right? We know who Xavion Lee is, we know who Caden Pierce is, and we know who Blake Peters is and how effective those guys can be. And the avenue for a team to beat Yale would be to go out and knock down a bunch of threes, and they're certainly capable of doing that. So our job is to go out and just play the defense that we know we're capable of playing. It's not like they're going to put in a new offense that we don't know. My assistant coach, Matt Kingsley, knows as much about their team offensively as anybody on their team knows. So, and he's, giving that to our team and the scout. So we'll just be ready to go out and play as hard as we possibly can. And, I've been, I'm a basketball junkie, so I've watched a lot of these tournaments over the last week. And so you see upsets and what happens and why things will go. And for us, if we focus and we concentrate and stay even kill in terms of how the game goes and don't get too high, get too low, and don't let any one play affect the next play, well, we'll be in pretty good shape. If you look at the scores of the league, every team in our league has gotten blown out in one game or another, except for us, right? And that's because I think that we've been able to stay even kill and not allow things to get to us. So we want to hopefully continue to do that over the weekend.
Time for one more question.
Yeah, Zach Starrett, Ivy League on ESPN. This one's for Bez and then John. Obviously, last year you guys won the tournament in pretty dramatic fashion. What do you take from last year's tournament run coming into this year?
Honestly, Coach said it best, like staying even. Like in that game, especially the Brown game, like we were in control like pretty much the whole game, and they took like control in the last couple of minutes. So it's important, and then like it ended super like climactic. But it's important to stay even keeled and not get too high or too low. So I think that's a key for sure.
Honestly, to put it bluntly, I really don't think we are taking much from last year into this year. And what I mean by that is our level of focus. We're coming into this tournament with the mindset that we are the 4 seed. You talk about Princeton having nothing to lose. We sort of have that same mentality that we have nothing to lose. At the end of the day, it's just a basketball game. We're going to go out with our game plan that our coaches put in front of us, and we're going to execute it to the best of our abilities, and we're going to live with the result.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good job.